Here we are at the Amsterdam Dance Event at the Demolition Panel, the final panel.
We survived the Demolition Panel.
Exactly.
We didn't get demolished.
And we have the beautiful GoldFish guys from South Africa who are going to tell us some things about the album that has just been released on Armada Music in Europe, I think, and in other territories with different record companies, is it?
It's Armada for the world and Sony Music for South Africa.
Yeah, it will be so cool if you can tell us a little bit about this album, how long it took you to produce it.
It took our whole lives to make this album.
So yeah, the album's called Late Night People, and it's just come out. We've been working on it since the last album, pretty much. We finished that album in 2013, and then we put out a bunch of singles, and then, I don't know, about 18 months to a year, 2 years ago, we kind of were like, wow, you know, we've done 4 albums, we need to do another one. And I think we got to the right mental space, and then we kind of started like in all purpose to kind of work towards that, and not just working on singles and stuff like that. And you know, then we moved to America from South Africa, so that kind of like changed our lives, changed the whole perspective, and also put us into a different zone with different contacts and different people available that, you know, we could work with. And that was very interesting because obviously the previous albums were kind of based out of Cape Town, and this album was recorded in Nicaragua, Cape Town, places around Europe, London,
all over the States,
obviously in San Diego where we moved to. So it's kind of interesting, and it's kind of varied as well. The sounds are varied as we do. We're not like that consistent when it comes to sounds. We kind of just
It's not 12 bangers.
We kind of go where the flow goes. And but I think this album, we've somehow managed to knit it all together really well, I think, musically speaking. And so far so good. People enjoying it.
And of course you have a lot of organic elements in your album. It sounds like having a full live orchestra in front of you and jamming around you. How did you manage to catch this nice vibe?
Well, that's always the challenge, is trying to bring in those live elements, especially for us. That's the thing that is the GoldFish DNA. It's the live instruments, the saxophone, the flute. I play the keyboards and the double bass. Bringing those elements into our sound is always the challenge, especially within dance music, because dance music is quite formulaic, or even electronic music. You know, just balancing the beats and the electronic elements with those sounds and getting it to sound finished and strong and huge. We always want it to sound like powerful, huge. It's important, you know, because you got to have that work on a dance floor, and that's the tricky thing sometimes when you're using a lot of live elements. But I think we're pretty happy with how it came out.
And of course you have vocal tracks, you have instrumental ones. Which ones you like the most? Do you like working with singers?
Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting to have, like, you know, other input into the song and other personalities, and I think that's kind of always been a part of what we do, having, you know, vocalists and working with them. And it's a different challenge each song. Like some are just simple and some aren't. And yeah, there were challenging moments, and there were also beautiful moments. Like the first time we got the vocals from Soweto Kinch for Late Night People, the
Opening track
on the album was pretty much, I think, it was like a turning point in the creation of the album, where we were like, whoa, I think we've got something here.
We know where we're going now.
We've been like feeling around the dark up until that point, and then we were sitting in the studio in Madras Village in Nicaragua, and we got this email from Soweto, and he was like, guys, I did it, here you go. And we slotted it into the track and sat back and were amazed at what had happened. And
it's not always like that as well. Sometimes you get stuff and it's like, oh, we're actually going to have to do a ton of work on this, or we need to go back and re-record this, or can you do this differently? With that, it was just like, here it is, boom. And when that doesn't happen often, so it's exciting when it does.
Is it possible to pick up 1 or 2 tracks from the album that speaks much more to your heart? Do you have a favorite?
That's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, 7, 8,
it's like
Oh, the whole album is your favorite.
It's like picking your favorite child, if you have like more than
kids,
one.
yeah.
It's like you can't really pick your favorite child. You know,
I think there were songs that we enjoyed making. We have like soft spots for, like.
I mean, I think the songs that are a little bit more different to what we normally do are probably the ones that are our favorites, just to listen to, because they're less like what we've done
fresh.
before, and it's a little bit fresher. So like no one has to know, is it more down tempo? It's at like 187 BPM.
You mean 87?
187
187 would be pretty fast.
Yeah, and Late Night People is great because we've been huge admirers of Soweto Kinch for many years, and like to get him on a track with us was really a special moment. Yesterday we performed at the album launch with him. We met him properly in person for the first time, and like we seriously fanboyed out. So, yeah.
Is it possible to tell us about the Amsterdam Dance Event then? Did you enjoy it this year?
So this is like our 9th Amsterdam Dance Event, and our 9th time we've sold out our show here, which is
beautiful.
You could never really ask for a better thing. The Dutch crowds, I know it's a very international crowd during Amsterdam Dance Event, but specifically the Dutch crowd is a very discerning dance crowd. So if you're doing well here, it's a good sign, and luckily we have been. So we're really happy about that.
And yeah, it's just, I mean, ADE is just great because you see people that we haven't seen for ages, whether they're in the industry or just around the industry, and that's cool. We get to connect on a personal level with lots of people, and that's very important in the business.
So do you suggest people to come to Amsterdam Dance Event? Then is a must for them.
We are huge ADE evangelists. We tell everyone about it, like anyone we meet around the world, if they're in the business or just coming up, upcoming DJs or producers or anything, we always tell them you have to go to ADE. If you want to be in the mix, that's the place to be.
And you're going to learn a ton of stuff.
And it's well organized, and it's a high-end event, and it's not just about the parties, although the parties are really good, and but you can get kind of lost in it if it's not like really well done, and the ADE is really well done, so well done.
Do you quarrel at all, or are you always so friendly between you?
Do we quarrel?
Yeah, do you have any disagreements, or everything is so happy?
We've known each other a very long time. We're like musical brothers. So of course there's there's times where we don't necessarily agree on, especially within music, we might not agree on things, but we both know that we want the same thing. So it's just about how we get there. And sometimes Dave will let me push my agenda, and sometimes I'll let him. So it's just like any good relationship you have in life, you have to give and take.